Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new Big Brother 23 Live Feed spoilers. This is day 12, the aftermath of the veto. We have someone threatening to quit the game.
One of my biggest pet peeves, like, don't go on a reality show and threaten to quit. There are hundreds of people that wanted to be on this show. Like, it really bothers me.
We'll get into all of that, and then also whether or not the veto could be used as of right now.
Yep.
What's the state of some paranoia in the house?
Yep.
But of course, hit that subscribe button before we dive into anything more here. You know, we're here every day talking Big Brother 23 in addition to all the other fun stuff we got going on at the channel right now.
Yeah, and we're going to just do like a very quick little thing here for everyone that did give us names for our plant right here.
Yeah.
We decided to take the top 5 that we really liked for you guys naming our plant, and we have a poll up here at the channel. It's in the community tab, so if you go to our front page and you scroll over to the community, it is there. We've got Jacques Laplante, which I really like. It reminds me of, Benoit, from Knives Out, for everyone who's watched that. It's so good. It just feels like an Agatha Christie kind of name. We got Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. We got Mr. Plantacular, which, of course, we love Jessie, so we love that. We got Vincent Van Gogh, and she's all plant.
There were so many good names.
Jacques Laplante. No, it's good. There are so many good names. I like all of them. So we couldn't choose. So we're putting it on you guys.
That's right.
Go vote in the poll. Whichever one you guys like the best is what we're going to go with.
Yeah, so that is all going on over there. And of course, now we will transition into what is going on in the house after the veto.
Okay, so we mentioned this a little bit, that Frenchie has threatened to self-evict. He has basically said to Derek F that he's, afraid of being locked up for weeks. He's worried about the battle back. I mean, you knew that there was going to be jury, so even if you get to there, you're going to be locked up for weeks then. I mean, you know what you're signing up for. Yeah. I will say, Big Brother is a very hard game. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I will die on this hill. Yeah. It is a very hard game, and I think people don't really understand when you're in this house and you have no access to the outside. You have no books, you have no internet, you have no TV, you have nothing except to think yourself to death. Yeah. So I understand that there are people that will get in there and think themselves right out the door, like kind of what Frenchy is doing. That being said, it does always kind of rub me the wrong way, because there are so many people that are like dying to be on the show, and they like audition year after year after year to be here, and then you've got somebody who's like, I'm gonna self-evict, and then you see other people like Christy, who wanted to be on this season and then got a positive test and was like, oh man, like
this is so okay. This is the thing about Frenchie that like makes me really even more annoyed about it. If Frenchie was somebody that casting found in a bar in Santa Monica, and they'd never seen the show before, and they were just like recruit bro number one, like I would be like, all right, well, this person just doesn't care all that much. They didn't really know what they were getting themselves into. Mm-hmm. But Frenchie's a feeder. Man, you've seen this show for so many years. None of this should be surprising to you at all.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, right? But then you get into the house and it's different. And that's why it's like, I really hate it when people say that they're going to just self-evict and they're going to quit and take their ball and go home on a show like this because so many people want to be there. But once you get into the situation, it's different. And I think it's harder for us on the outside to really know what it's like on the inside. I mean, I've got friends that have been on this show and they can tell me all day what it's like, but I really don't know what it's like.
I'm going to throw another theory out there, and because I'm wearing all gray, what better time than to go full Eeyore here? Because
I was wondering where you were going with that.
What if Frenchie is just sort of thinking to himself, these people all want me gone.
No Eeyore voice?
Oh, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
See, he's thinking this, and maybe he's then projecting outward. well, I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. And, like, maybe he thinks that going full Eeyore will make people... It's sort of like, I think this was Celebrity Big Brother when Meta World Peace kept wanting to quit, and they just kept keeping him around.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that can work. We just saw over on Big Brother Canada 9, Kiefer did that a little bit as well, where he was, you know, he thought he was going home, and he kind of had that feeling like, poor me, you know, I get it. Don't feel bad that you got to get rid of me. And it completely turned everything around, and they kept him.
Yeah, like the crazier things have happened, and I think the thing with Frenchie is I think he's done too much that everybody's just going to be like, okay, you want to go? Bye.
Yeah, that's the thing. Frenchie has just he's burned too many bridges where someone like Kiefer from Big Brother 9, he did not do that. People really liked him. So when he was like, oh, poor me, people are like, oh man, we're really making a mistake here. We got to keep him. He's so great. How could we do this to him?
What makes this just so ridiculous with Frenchie is he gets like the full Frenchy cycle where he'll have a little bit of time where he'll be like this.
Yeah.
And then he'll sort of cycle over, and then he'll start trying to be strategic again.
Yeah.
And then he comes up with this idea that, okay, if we can convince Derek X to use that veto on Brittney and then get Brent up there, you know, could this work? Like, would I have a chance? And like, then he starts like getting these wheels turning.
Yeah, and it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. If anyone is going to go over him, it could be Brent. I mean, Brent hasn't made all the biggest friends in this house either. And so, possible, but I don't know. I just feel like things are kind of sealed for Frenchie. Especially since he is, like, rolling a little bit out of control. Where he is like, oh, I'm going to self-evict. No, now I'm playing. Now I'm mad at everybody. Now I'm sad again. It's just kind of like... Okay, well, what can I trust?
The biggest issues that I think there are for Frenchie in this is it's kind of like twofold. It's like step one, you have to get Derek X to actually use the veto, and it's like Derek X has no reason to want to trust Frenchie at all.
I don't know why Derek X would use this veto, to be honest. I mean... I think that it was good that he won this veto, and I know not everyone agrees with me, and that is A-okay on that. Mm-hmm. But because he was in such a bad spot that first week, winning it this second week, even though he didn't necessarily need to, it helps him continue to solidify his relationship with Kylan. Kylan is the person that he really needs to build that relationship with. He saved him last week. Yeah. Now he's won the veto. So the best move for Derek is just to go to Kylan and say, what do you want me to do? Yeah. We're working together. I want to work with you. Tell me what you would like me to do. If Kylan's just like, I want to keep them the same, I want Frenchie out, okay, fine. If Kylan's like, oh yeah, I'd like to do whatever with it, I'm sure Derek X would be like, okay. This is a really good sort of bargaining chip for Derek X to build more.
I think if it was a different situation, maybe I'd be more worried about Derek X, but I think it's because he can solidify things with Kylan more, and everyone in the house just kind of wants Frenchie gone, that I think there's just so much consensus around this idea that, like, this week isn't really about, oh, look at Derek winning another competition. It's more about, oh, thank goodness Frenchie didn't win.
Yeah, and I think if Derek went into this and he decided to take off Brittney and put on someone that could go over Frenchie,
yeah,
Derek is next out the door. Like, honestly, people can be so mad at him. There's no benefit to this.
Yeah, and Kylan's even told Brittney that he doesn't want the veto used, and so he would be going against what Kylan wants. And Kylan, you know, I understand that Brent is a problem, and Brent, there will be opportunities to get rid of Brent.
Yep.
Kylan he wants an easy week, and it's perfect for him. He can just get rid of a target everybody wants out.
Also, Brent is on Derek X's team, so this is like a bit of a strange sell for him to go and try to sell out his own team member for why?
Yeah, it's... The team thing are making stuff complicated in the game right now, and I don't think
Yes, it is. It makes it a little more interesting.
It makes it more interesting, and I don't know why. It feels like people are kind of forgetting that, like, the teams still do matter to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's like Tiffany is, like, talking to Xavier last night and sort of saying that Derek F and Azza, they're buying too much into Frenchie and what Frenchie's doing, and it's just sort of like, well...
They're on a team together.
Yeah. Like, I don't don't think Azza is like, I am a Frenchy zombie. I will do what...
No, I think it's just they are on teams together for a couple more weeks here. Like, they need to work with him.
Yeah, and at the very least, they don't want to ruffle any feathers right now. I think after Frenchy is gone, I think they, or at least Azza, I don't want to speak for Derek F., but I feel like at least Azza is going to be A-okay and just fine.
Yeah, they don't need to be in a situation where they're really turning on Frenchie and then Frenchie stays.
Yeah.
And they're all on a team together, because then it will really be the team is going to implode, because then Frenchie's not going to trust them. He's going to try to find ways to throw them all under the bus, and like it's just going to get real ugly.
Yeah, it's not going to get pretty. And Derek F., you may have some time to see some of the errors of your ways. Mm-hmm. I know you think you have a final two. I know Frenchie's trusting you enough to confide in you about wanting to quit or being worried about some non-existent battle back that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, Derek F. is getting a bit worried. He said this morning he's getting a bit worried that people are mad at him, that he's being nice to Frenchie and stuff like that. But again, like, they're on the same team. Like, yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, people might know that we're, really tight or have some sort of deal together or anything like that. That's, again, the power of being in the Big Brother house and thinking yourself to death.
Yeah. So we know that Derek F., he likes TikTok. And, you know what's really big on TikTok? Dancing. Here's what Derek F...
Brittney!
Exactly! Derek F. needs to dance his way right out of Frenchie's spot in the game. He needs to, dance as much distance there these next few days as possible.
Yes, he does.
Just reassure people, because if Frenchie's going and Frenchie's going unanimously, you don't want to be thought of as Frenchie's number 2, and I don't know if people have that on their minds right now.
I think the thing is that even if they do, this is just my opinion, that even if they do, that it's not going to matter, because after Frenchie's gone, then Derek F. is just a free agent. That it doesn't really matter anymore, because Frenchie's not on the jury.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, well, Derek F. is sort of guaranteed this vote from Frenchie because they were really tight or anything. Like, it truly doesn't matter. It would just be, I think, looked at as sort of like, okay, he's on his own now. Yeah. Here's a number for me, or here's a number for me, that kind of thing.
Derek F. just needs to chill out. And also, Derek F., while we're talking about you, stop trying to, puppet master a bro feud between Christian and Brent, because they're going to bro feud already as it is, because I think they both, in their minds want to be around Alyssa, and I think neither one of them is ever going to be okay if the other one has more time with her.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get where he's coming from with the idea of it makes it look like all the bros are fighting and they're not getting along, that people would be way less likely to target them, because then it doesn't look like a big group of strong guys rolling over the house. It looks like, oh, well, they're all kind of splintered, so let's focus on some other people. It's not the worst strategy, but at the same time, it's all going to depend on, who's in power, because Frenchie's not, a muscly bro, and he's probably going home.
Yeah, you just got to stop thinking about Frenchy, Derek. You got to start practicing so that you can win your own HOH coming up.
Yes.
So we'll actually talk about the other nominee here for a moment in Brittney, now that we've talked about Frenchie for the majority of this.
Yeah.
Brittney, we talked about it. She was pretty upset after the nominations.
Yeah, she was, but she's told Kylan now that she's not mad. She gets it, but I mean, she can still feel crappy about it. She's entitled to her feelings to feel that way. I don't think anybody feels great about being on the block, but she's got to look at that situation as a big picture and kind of be like, look at who I'm sitting next to. I know that everybody's having a problem with Frenchie. Nobody's being that quiet about it. So if you're going to be on the block, this is not the worst situation.
And I think she's doing and saying at least the right thing now. She's told Kylan that she's not going to go after him. She's not going to go after Derek X if she wins. And, who knows if she actually won, whether or not she would do that. I don't get the sense. It sounds more like she just doesn't want to win next week, period, and just wants to go and hide under the radar again.
Yeah, which is kind of a strange move, because if she really is on the block because she's seen as someone who's very likable, non-threat. She is somebody then that could go on the block over and over and over again to get other people out. Like, this next week is actually the time that she should be winning something, to be like, guys, I am not just your pawn. I am not the person to use to get out bigger targets. I am here to play, and I'm here to play now, quickly. Put down your foot, put on your crown.
I agree, actually. I think Brittney should win the next HOH because she needs to cement herself as I am not a minion of anybody else.
No.
I have my own brain. This is what I want to do.
And she has to do it now, early. If she does it like a few weeks in, no one's going to remember because she will probably be on the block 3 more times. And then when she does win, it'll be like, well, that's the one-off, not... I'm showing you guys that I am not going to be your pawn, so you can stuff it.
Yeah, like, it's kind of unfair sometimes, but this happens in Big Brother a lot, and it happens a lot especially towards women in Big Brother, where if you get on the block a couple of times, people think you're useless, or they think you don't have a mind of your own, and it's really hard to change those impressions later on in the game.
Yes, it is. It is very difficult to change people's minds later on in the game.
And I know, Brittney, you loved talking about, I know you've mentioned this a lot, how you're working out a lot and you're worried that people are going to target you because you work out. Give them a reason to be worried about you then.
Yes, for sure.
Just have it happen. But okay, as we're nearing the end of this, we got to complete the Frenchy Cycle here.
Oh, man.
And talk about how I almost, there's a part of me that doesn't want to go here, but I feel like we have to go here. Yeah. At the end of the night, he was back to congratulating himself last night about how he fulfilled his promise that he didn't get rid of a woman, he didn't get rid of he thinks that because he ended up getting rid of Travis, that it gives him sort of like the ability to wipe away everything else that he did.
Oh, Frenchie, I don't even know how to respond to this. It is such nonsense. I mean, again, you're in the Big Brother house. You can think yourself into any corner you want. But this one is a bit ridiculous. I mean, he went into the house feeling like he wasn't even going to nominate any of them. And even worse, he told Kylan, I'm not going to nominate you. He told Alyssa, I'm not going to nominate you, and then put them up. Like, you can't just look at the end result and be like, job done. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, because you didn't. You ended up with the result you wanted, but you went against other things you wanted or said you were going to do to get to that result. So it doesn't help if you're, stepping on your own convictions to get to what you want.
And this to me is actually Frenchie's fatal flaw more than, he lied to this person or that person. It's that he went in there and he spoke about things that were sort of just like bigger than individual games of Big Brother, and claimed that he had these platforms that he wanted to stand on. And then if you weren't intending to do that, just don't say that you're going to do that. And I think just that hypocrisy has just rubbed a lot of people really the wrong way. And it's like, if you're going to lie about that and your convictions, then you're going to lie about anything in the game.
Yes. And it is Big Brother, so yes, people lie, but when it starts to get into things that are a bit more world platform and not just Big Brother platform, then it starts to just get kind of in my craw. I don't know.
Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled on the feeds today. We'll be back soon to discuss a number of other things. I feel like every time I say this, I've been wrong, that I feel like it's going to be a slightly quieter day because it's Sunday and everybody kind of knows Frenchie's probably going. Yeah,
well, if it is, you guys can go and watch Animal Kingdom tonight because it is on. It is episode 2. We're going to have a review up tonight.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Good season.
Yeah, and check out our video of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan from last night.
So good.
Yeah, we had so much fun doing that. Thank you guys for everything. Vote in the plant poll if you haven't already.
Jacques Leblanc.
And we will see you guys here next time.